What's up, family? Back again. Okay, so I recently found this article from Rolling Stone magazine about a rock and roll band called the Patti Smith Group and their song Rock and Roll Nigger. I'm gonna read you a little bit of the article straight from Rolling Stone as my source, if anybody's asking. Disclaimer from the jump, excuse my dyslexia. I can't read, but I do have dyslexia. All right, Patti Smith's Rock and Roll Nigger, quietly removed from streaming services. The incendiary track that closes the A-side of Patti Smith Group's 1978 album Easter, Rock and Roll Nigger, is no longer available on streaming services. The track was quietly removed in recent months from Spotify, Apple Music, Tidal, and Amazon Music. Though an exact removal date and Smith's involvement is unknown, the song is still available on physical copies of Easter, which is one of Smith's best-selling records thanks to its single Because the Night. I like that song. And it's still included when people buy the full album as a download. The reason for the song's disappearance is unclear. On the song, which sieges seemingly from the preceding track, Babylog, Smith sings about taking pride in being an outcast. She described Jimi Hendrix, Jesus Christ, and Jackson Pollock using the epithet. And Grandma too. I was lost and the cost did not matter to me, she sings. I was lost and the cost was to be outside society. In the album's liner notes, she explains why she chose to use the word N-I-G-G-R, G-G-E-R. No invented for color. It was made for the plague, she wrote. The word art must be redefined. All mutant and the new babies formed, sans eyebrows and tonsil. Any man who extends beyond the classic form is a N-I-G-G-E-R. She declined to comment for this article. The track's co-writer, guitarist Lenny Kaye, who also sang on the song, did not respond to Rolling Stone's request for comment. Reps for the streaming service did not respond to requests for comment. Yeah. Rolling Stone's original 1978 review of Easter, which was largely positive, contended that people might not understand the artist's intention of the word. Rolling Stone, her attempt to make the word respectable is foredoomed, it read. Rock and Roll Nigger is an impalatable chant because Smith does not understand the word's connotation, which is not outlawed, but a particularly vicious kind of subjugation and humiliation that's antithetical, never heard that word, to her motive. Never heard that word, antithetical. So far it seems like they because we have moved into this new time and we're doing things this way with people getting canceled and things being acceptable and things not being acceptable. I guess, they figured, I felt like this about Joe Rogan a few months back when the thing came up about him using the word. I felt like he should have had his people go back and take all of the videos down where, because it's not that we don't understand you, but some people are going to purposely take this out of context. You feel me? And now, and that's, he should have took all of that stuff down before he got caught up. But I still like Joe. Anyway, let me get back to this. Since the album's release, she has defended using the word several times. In a 1978 Rolling Stone interview, she described Mick Jagger with the word. When questioned why, she said, "In our liner notes, I redefined the word nigger as being an artist mutant that was going beyond gender." Hold on, what him being a boy or girl got to do with it? That's not. Gender is being male or female. As far as I don't understand. Okay. When the interviewer suggested that Jagger hadn't suffered like any who grew up in Harlem, she stood her ground. "Suffering don't make you a nigga," she said. "I mean, I grew up poor too. Y'all think black people are better than white people or something? I was raised with black people. It's like I can walk down the street and say to a kid, 'Hey nigger.' I don't have any kind of super respect or fear of that kind of stuff. When I say statements like that, they're not supposed to be analyzed because they're more like off-the-cuff humorous comments. I do have a sense of humor, you know, which is something that most people completely wash over when they deal with me. I never read anything I never read anything where anybody talked about my sense of humor. It's like a lot of the stuff I say is true, but it's supposed to be funny, she added. I do feel words can outlive their usefulness unless we redefine them. Okay, stop right there. I understand that a little bit. What I don't understand, well, I understand it too, through reflection. When she made this song, 1978, black people hadn't been free 10 years good, okay? So you could still say anything you wanted to about black people, you know? People think slavery ended in 1863 or whatnot, 1865, whatever. It did not. Slavery ended when Jim Crow started to die down. And that was, you know, the end of the 60s, coming in 70s, you know what I mean? So technically, I just feel like my people haven't been free that long, you know, especially with the way we've been acting lately. But anyway, we've totally forgotten about the fact that we haven't been free that long. But in 1978, yes, I guess you could make a song like that and then stand on it and back what you're saying. Hey, I'm gonna take possession of this word and I'm gonna change the way people view it. Who asked you to do that? First off, no. The way black people use the word towards each other is, you know, it's interchangeable. You know, we could use it to describe someone good. We could use it to describe someone bad, you know. But the biggest thing is you can't use it to describe anyone. You understand? Because you and whoever the interviewer was at Rolling Stone, who actually checked her, he did good in my opinion, you know, because you know, he didn't have to speak long about it or hard about it, but he made his point, you know. Hey, Mick Jagger didn't grow up in Harlem, you know what I mean? And I understand that. So I don't want to really go any further. Let me see. Nearly 20. Okay, yes. Okay, let's see if she still stayed on that. Nearly 20 years later, she maintained that her goal in using the word as to subvert its meaning in a 1996 Rolling Stone interview. You could have called Michelangelo and Leonardo da Vinci a nigger. People that created art for the palace would have come in the back door, she said. Beethoven was not allowed to come in through the front door of the palace. I was taking this archaic use of the word nigger and sort of reinventing it, she continued. It was the idea of taking a word that was specific and harmful to people and obliterating it, blowing that apart and reinventing it so it was more like a badge of courage, like the kids did with the word punk. It was part of my group's attempt to break the boundaries to obliterate labels. I understand that, but who are you to do that? That's my whole point. Okay. I still don't understand how you could be thinking, man, I mean, come on. You say you grew up around black people. So that tells me if you grew up around black people and you were making records in the 70s, you probably grew up around black people in the 60s, okay? When we really had no rights. You know what I mean? So you witness our suffering, okay? So I understand you wanted to take it upon yourself to try to change it up a little bit. Nah, that's not your job. That wasn't your job. And for you to think that I would believe that you were trying to make these changes with a song, come on, man, you ain't in office or nothing. That don't even make sense. Yes, songs do have the ability to change individuals. I'll say that. But songs don't have the ability to take away all these years of oppression and the continued oppression, you know. And then on top of that, for you to be interviewed years later and you still stand on it and not say you were wrong because you didn't fully understand, you know what I mean, just tells me that you was just using your privilege. Thanks for tuning in. And if you stayed to the end, I really, really love you for that. Thank you. Salute.